Hi, and welcome to Cooking 100-Year-Old Recipes. I'm Stephanie. I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I've compiled 5 dishes that I've made on the channel over the years that I think would make a great addition to a holiday table. And for it to qualify, it has to be a crowd pleaser. The main ingredient has to be something everyone is familiar with, so there's nothing unusual or strange showing up on the table. Each time I would taste them during a taste test, all of them had the same reaction in my mind, and that is that it would be great on a holiday table. Let's look at each of them and see if maybe you want to consider one of these for your holiday, and also a little history behind the main ingredient and how it came to the United States for this American holiday we're celebrating in this video. Let's get started. No doubt many of us are giving thanks for the potato. The potato may seem humble now, but it was once a revolutionary ingredient. Introduced to North America in the 1700s, it became an essential crop for immigrants, particularly the Irish. By the early 20th century, potato stuffing, it was a thrifty and filling side dish. It stretched the bread supply by blending mashed potato with onions, celery, and herbs into a rich buttery mixture, sometimes even used to fill poultry. It's a dish that's both comforting and practical, a true reflection of American ingenuity in the kitchen. Next is probably what I'm going to recommend the highest on this whole list, and that is Escalloped Brussels Sprouts. Tender sprouts baked in a creamy bechamel and finished with buttery crumbs. In the early 1900s, Brussels sprouts were a relatively new arrival to American kitchens. They were first grown commercially in Louisiana and California by Belgian immigrants in the late 1800s, and by the 1920s, they appeared regularly in cookbooks as a fashionable modern vegetable. This dish reflects the era's love for anything escalloped, a word that meant baked in a rich, comforting sauce. Now, what I found so, maybe intriguing about this dish is the addition of celery in it. Now, celery lightens it up and adds an extra textural element. However, at the time, and I will link this video in the description, when I spoke about celery during a Victorian Christmas menu video, I learned how difficult the crop was to cultivate at the time, and as a result, it was quite difficult to come by, and when you did, it was pricey, therefore reserved for special occasions and the affluent. I mentioned that if you were at a Gilded Age dinner party and a member of the upper class, and you were presented with a bouquet of celery and a celery glass. Yes, there are celery glasses. You would have been very impressed to have this beautiful bouquet of a vegetable presented in front of you. After all, what is Thanksgiving nowadays without celery? Few vegetables are as ancient or beloved as the onion. They arrived in North America with the earliest colonists and quickly became essential in every kitchen. By the 1800s, onions were considered both medicine and food, believed to ward off colds, cure sore throats, and strengthen the blood. Stuffed onions became a centerpiece dish in the Gilded Age and early 20th century, offering both beauty and flavor. Filled with bread stuffing, herbs, and sometimes sausage, they're a perfect reflection of the era's refined, decorative style of cooking. Now, when I made this dish, there was a little challenge getting used to getting the center core out of the parboiled onion, but once I stuffed it and baked it, then enjoyed it, oh my goodness, I was very impressed and immediately thought how gorgeous it would be to have a casserole of these beautiful individual stuffed onions on a holiday table. What a lovely side dish. Look at this beauty. Wouldn't it impress your family? Cauliflower wasn't always common in America. It began appearing in U.S. markets in the late 1800s, grown mainly by Italian and French immigrants. Because it was considered a delicate and somewhat exotic vegetable, recipes for cauliflower were often found in upper middle class cookbooks. Whole roasted cauliflower, often served with a white sauce or grated cheese, was a showstopper on the table, as you can see, proving that vegetables could be just as impressive as a roast. Now, cabbage, while it may not have the, shall we say, curb appeal some of the other vegetables have on this list, it's a beloved vegetable, and frankly, I personally don't know anyone who does not love it. This dish is a way to bring cabbage to your holiday table with some style. Cabbage was one of the most important vegetables for early American families. Hearty, affordable, and easy to store through winter. Escalloped cabbage was a farmhouse staple that appeared in cookbooks from the 19th century onward. It combined cooked cabbage with milk or cream, butter, and sometimes a sprinkle of cheese or crumbs. This dish has that old-fashioned simplicity that defined Depression-era home cooking, using pantry staples to make something satisfying and elegant. It is very similar to the escalloped Brussels sprouts earlier in this video. However, it does not have that elegant addition of celery. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Now, I want to leave you with one final note. I've mentioned all 5 recipes I recommend considering if you'd like something new this year on your holiday table. But of course, to finish, we generally all have a pumpkin pie somewhere on the table. Now, this book does have a very simple pumpkin pie recipe, which I have made on the channel, and there's a tip in there I highly recommend you watch if you find your pumpkin pies to be a little bit watery or flavorless. This works for fresh pumpkin pie or canned pumpkin if you prefer the convenience of that. Please go and watch it. I'd love you to have the best tasting Thanksgiving ever. And tell me in the comments which side dish you're possibly considering trying this year for your family table. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you again.